Wow. The first Larry Foster Award, it's a heavy responsibility and a great honor. And Roger, thank you for those kind words. It's great to hear them. It's an honor to receive this award. And it's particularly an honor to do it in front of so many friends. And by the way, I do consider you friends. I know some of my journalistic colleagues think you guys are the enemy and that you stand in the way, you stand right between them and the perfect story. But I've always felt that you and I trade in the same currency, the currency of facts. Most of you anyway. There might be an exception or two out of there. And look, sometimes you may withhold a fact or two, and you may assemble the facts in a way that point towards the particular story that you're trying to present. And I may put those facts together in a way that fit my notion of the perfect narrative that probably is just as far away from the truth as yours. But at the end of the day, we are trading in the same currency, facts. The facts are the facts. Now, it's funny how that very simple truism, as I say it, the facts are the facts, sounds almost old-fashioned. It's like dialing the telephone or looking something up in the dictionary. Some even say today we live in a post-fact society. And clearly changes in the press have something to do with that, right? I was trained at institutions that had strong standards of fact-checking and verification of facts and fairness and reaching out to the other side. But the dawn of the internet age, which has made publishing open to everyone, we're all journalists now, has seen the decline of those kinds of common standards. There is no common standard. I had a lesson in this a few years ago when I was building the online video operation for the Wall Street Journal, and it was sort of a small rump operation, and we started streaming a couple hours a day on the Wall Street Journal website. And one day, one afternoon, I see there's a story on Gawker that says, hey, the Wall Street Journal is live streaming 2 hours of video a day, and typical old media, they're using 60 people to do it. I said, well, I've only got 10 people here. I'm not sure what they're talking about. So I called the reporter up and I said, hey, I've only got 10 people running this operation, not 60 people. I don't know where you got that, but there are only 10. And he said, oh, thanks for calling. I'll go post that right now. And I said, well, wait a minute. Okay, you can go post that right now, but I've been here all day. I answer my telephone. You could have given me a call and asked me the question. And this young kid said, oh, this is the way it works. He said, we get some information, we put it up, you call us with more information, we put up the new information. Okay, I didn't know. This is the way it works now. Speed clearly has something to do with it. When you're not working against a 24-hour deadline or a once-a-week deadline, when your readers expect the news as soon as it happens, that puts a different kind of pressure on you, and mistakes get made. We had an incident at Time recently that you probably all heard about. Zeke Miller, a very fine reporter in the Washington Bureau, walks into the Oval Office, sees that the bust of Martin Luther King is gone, and in its place is the bust of Winston Churchill. Looks around, doesn't see it anywhere, files a pull report saying the bust of Martin Luther King has been removed from the Oval Office. Well, only afterwards is he told, no, it's still there. It's just in a different place, and there were some Secret Service people standing in front of it, so you couldn't see it. He corrected it, but that sort of thing wouldn't have happened 20 years ago when you didn't have the same pressure to file immediate reports. Bias, no question, bias has something to do with it. I don't have to tell the people in this room that the people who decide to be journalists are different than the people who decide to be bankers. It's just self-selection. It's a different group, and their political views generally tend to be the left to to the left of the nation as a whole. And some of it is the technology platforms that deliver the news these days. We editors don't control the front page anymore. We don't control the news you get. Your news is controlled by your social media contacts and friends. And guess what? Your social media contacts and friends are far more likely to pass around a story if it has a kind of a pointed, sharp-edged headline and a sharp-edged point than they are to pass around the traditional inverted pyramid straight headline wire service story. That's a fact of life. So all these things had already happened before we entered the age of Trump. But then we entered the age of Trump. And this is a man who has, I think, demonstrated to all of us that he doesn't have quite the same commitment to the facts. Right? Whether it's the fact he claimed for a long time that President Obama was born in Kenya, or that Muslims demonstrated on the roof of buildings in New Jersey the day after 9/11, or that he was elected with the largest electoral victory since Ronald Reagan. On top of that, he has in recent weeks decided that the press is the enemy. He needs an enemy, it's going to be the press. They're disgusting, they're corrupt, they're purveyors of fake news. And by the way, he makes no distinction between those organizations that do have standards of fact-checking and verification of facts and commitment to reach out to both sides, and those who don't. And he baits us. He throws out incorrect facts on a daily basis, I believe partly because he knows that the press is like a dog with a bone, right? They'll go after that and they'll correct it. I mean, you look at and confirm the point he has been making all along, which is the press is out to get me. I mean, spend 30 minutes today watching CNN and tell me that you can come to any other conclusion. And the result of that is that the great divide between the people in the country who voted for Donald Trump and who are, for the most part, according to the polls, delighted by the fact that he has come into office and done exactly what he said he was going to do. The divide between those people and the people who didn't support him and didn't vote for him has gotten wider and deeper and greater than it has ever been before. And there's no common currency of facts to have a civil discourse, much less take civil action against the very real issues and problems that faces our society. Now, I'm not sure I know what to do about it, and if I did know what to do about it, I wouldn't be able to get into it in the 5 minutes that I've been given here. But the one thing I do know is this: we need institutions like the Page Center and the Page Society that are built on that bedrock commitment to the truth and that believe in the currency of facts. And so that's why I'm so honored to get this award tonight and why I salute all of you for being here and supporting these institutions. So thank you very much.